Hello, everybody. Hope you all are still doing well, staying healthy. Today, we're going to talk about box plots and the 5-number summary. So that is our lesson for today. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's look at what is a box plot. It is a way to display the 5-number summary of a set of data or a data set. So box plots are constructed to see the spread of the data using median data points. So a box plot will break the data into 4 equal parts, where the median of the box plot represents 50% of the data. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Oh, the other way. All right, so how to construct a box plot. So again, we go back to that whole notion of organizing our data in ascending order. This is key to making a box plot. You will have a difficult time trying to create a box plot without the numbers being in order from least to greatest. So we're going to then find the 5 numbers in the 5-number summary after we've ordered our data in ascending order. And those 5 numbers are the lower extreme, quartile 1, quartile 2, also called the median, quartile 3, and then upper extreme. Now, you don't have to find them in that order, but those are the 5 numbers that we will find in order to complete the 5-number summary. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about the lower and upper extremes first. Those are pretty easy to figure out. It doesn't involve any calculation. It's just a matter of taking your data, organizing it from least to greatest, as we said, and then looking at the least number, which is your lower extreme, and the highest number, which is your upper extreme. So the lowest number in our example here is 37, and the highest number in this example is 80. So that means our lower extreme is 37 and our upper extreme is 80. So we found 2 of the numbers in the 5-number summary already. Let's look at the other 3. First, second, and third quartiles are the other 3 numbers. So we're going to use the same numbers from the example that we used earlier to find those first, second, and third quartiles. So first, in order to do this, we need to find the median of the entire data set. Now, this is key to doing this before you try to find the first and third quartiles. You have to find the median first so that you can divide the data into 2 parts. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. So we find the median of our entire data set. In this case, it happens to be 52 is our median. So that will give us the second quartile. Okay, that is our second quartile. So the median of the entire data set is 52, and this is the second quartile in the 5-number summary. So let's find the first and third quartiles. So again, we have our numbers organized from least to greatest. We know what our median is of the entire data set. So now we're going to use that information to help us find the median of the lower half of the data. So now we look at the numbers that are to the left of the median. So this is what we would call our lower half. So all the numbers to the left of the median is our lower half, and we're going to use those numbers in order to find the first quartile. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going. So I pulled out the numbers 37, 38, 40, 46, 46, 50, and 51. Again, this is the lower half of the data. So we're going to find the median of the lower half, which will serve as our first quartile. So let's look at what we have. So we're going to mark out from left to right, as we learned when we find the median, until we get to that middle number. And in this case, 46 is our middle number of the lower half. So 46 is the first quartile of the data. Okay, the first quartile of the data. All right, now let's find the third quartile. So if we use the lower half numbers to find the first quartile, we're now going to use the upper half numbers, all the numbers to the right of the median, to find the third quartile. So all these numbers to the right of the median we're going to use to find the third quartile. So here are those same numbers. So again, mark them out from left to right until we find the middle number. And in this case, it is 70. So 70 is the median of the upper half of the data. So that's a third quartile. 70 is a third quartile. All right, so now let's look at our 5-number summary. Let's look at what we have. So our lower extreme is 37. Our upper extreme is 80. Our first quartile is 46. Our second quartile is 52. And our third quartile is 70. So those are our 5 numbers in the 5-number summary. So now I'm going to use the numbers to construct the box plot using a number line to do so. So a box plot is typically constructed above and sometimes below, if you're comparing box plots, a number line. So remember to number your number line in order and not just the numbers in the data set. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over to a Word document where I can create a box plot. So I'm going to draw a number line, and you can do this along with me. Now, granted, my number line isn't as straight as it could be, but it'll work. And now I'm going to number my numbers. I'm going to go up by 5s on my number line. You can go up by a different set of numbers if you wish, but just make sure it is in order. So in other words, don't do the numbers in the data set and only those numbers, but go up in an order that allows you to actually have the numbers that you need and maybe a little bit more. All right. So I've numbered my number line from 35 to 90, and I know my highest number is 80, so I have plenty of room. And my lowest number is 37, so I have room on the other side. So now let's go ahead and write down what our numbers were. So we had a lower extreme of 37, upper extreme of 80, a first quartile of, let's go back, first quartile was 46, second quartile was 52, and 70. So first quartile was 46, second quartile was 52, and the third quartile was 70. All right, so now we have our numbers that we need to use in order to create our box plot. So let's first mark our lower extreme. So 37 would be, let's say, right here. So I'm going to put a dot right there. And then let's go ahead and mark our upper extreme, which was 80. So let's put a dot right here. So I'm going to check off that I've done those two. All right, now let's do our first quartile. It's 46. So I'm going to put a dot right close to 45. So I've done that one. And then our second quartile is 52. So let's do right here. I'm going to draw a line through that because you draw a line for the median. And we'll see how that comes out in just a minute. But I want to do it right now so that we understand that this is our median number. And you can always tell the median of the data set because it will have a line through it. So quartile 2 is done. And let's do quartile 3, which is 70. So I'm going to put a dot at 70. All right, now, so remember, it's called a box plot. So somewhere I got to have a box. So we draw a line and connect the sides between the first quartile and the third quartile. So that's where I create my box. Okay. So now that I have my box created, the two extremes, lower and upper extreme, you connect to the box. You connect to the box. And the lower and upper extremes simply show the spread of the data. Remember how we use the lowest number and the highest number to find the range, and the range is the spread of the data. The same thing is true here. So the lower and upper extremes are the spread of the data. The first quartile is the median of the lower half of the data. So whatever the lower half of the data is, the first quartile is the median of that. The third quartile is the median of the upper half of the data. So whatever that upper half is, the third quartile is the median of the upper half. And then, of course, the median itself is the middle number of all of the data. So the median represents 50% of the data. Anything to the left of the median is 50%, it's going to be 50% less than the median, and anything to the right of the median is going to be 50% greater than the median. So that is what we have for our box plot. Now, I want you to use this information to help you practice constructing a box plot. So I have some practice problems under the practice section that you can use to construct a box plot. And then I want you to also practice reading a box plot. So there's a practice set for constructing and a practice set for reading a box plot. It's important that you know how to read it because we will begin to use information on a box plot to analyze the data. And then I have some additional practice as well. But before we go, I want to label these points just to make sure we know. So this is the lower extreme. This is quartile 1. Oops, let me write that a little bit better. Quartile 1. Oops, still didn't do it right. Hold on. Let me make this Q. Quartile 1, if I can say it right. This is quartile 2, quartile 3, and then this is the upper extreme right here. So those are the 5 numbers in the 5-number summary. Again, take a break. If you need to watch this video again, please do. And then go back and click on some of the practice. Remember, one is practicing constructing a box plot, and the other is practicing reading a box plot. And then there are some additional practice problems where you can give a shot at finding those 5 numbers in the 5-number summary. All right. See you all later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.